Today's topic is all about this electric motor. It is a washing machine motor. It was given to me by a friend who was shifting house and no longer needs the junk in his shed. So I decided to take it. Normally with this kind of electric motor, I cut them up for scrap and extract the copper out and melt it down for future projects. But this motor has got something that is a little bit unusual in electric motors. It is a 2-speed induction motor, and I could use that for a lot of projects around my workshop. Now, to use this motor again, I need to look at the specs label for a bit of information. It says it's a clothes washer motor, manufactured in the USA, but this is the important part. It says it's 50 Hertz, 220 to 250 volts, and it's a 2-speed motor, which I like the most, 1425 to 950 RPM. Now that I have decided to keep this motor, I've got a bit of a problem here. There are so many wires coming out of this motor. I've never seen so many wires. I'm going to have to sort out which one's which and get this motor running. Now, I was very lucky when I got this electric motor. There was a schematic diagram provided with it. And as you'll see on the left hand side, we've got number 3 wire, number 7, number 1, number 6 and number 8. And we need to go another part of the diagram to see what colours they are. Now here we are at the other part of the diagram. And it tells you what colour the wires are. So we start with number 8, which is yellow, and then number 6, which is brown, and then number 1, which is red, and number 7, which is blue, and number 3, which is pink. The electric motor has been set up for testing. A very important point. I've clamped it to the bench just in case it starts and takes off. It's in a fixed firm position, and there I've connected the red and brown wire, the starter winding wires, to the lead, and there it goes to the power point. I'll now switch on 240 volts and see what happens with the starter winding. It's making a loud humming noise, but it didn't start. Now for the second test, I have connected the high speed winding, which is the blue wire and yellow wire. I'll now switch on 240 volts and we'll see what happens. Same thing again, bit of a hum and no start. Now for the third test, I've connected up a yellow wire again, but this time the pink wire, which should give you the slow speed. I'll now switch it on. Same thing again, humming but no start. As you can see, I've wrapped some cord around the shaft, and what I'll do, I'll give it a smart pull and see if I can get this motor running. There we have success, it's running. Now I know most of it works. Now it's really great to have the schematic diagram, but there's one problem with it. It does not show you how to connect the wires together to have it run and start, and also to change over the different speeds. So what I've done is I've paralleled the starter windings with the slow speed windings, and we'll give it a test run and see what happens. Oh, look at that, now it's running. Now that shows me when I've connected it up that way, it is turning anti-clockwise. Now if I want to run the motor in the clockwise direction, I just reverse the 2 starter winding wires. There we go. Now it's running in clockwise direction. Here's a close-up shot of the starter windings and the run windings. If you want it running in the clockwise direction, you've got to put pink to red and yellow to brown. And if you want to reverse the direction, you just put the red to yellow and the brown to pink, and it'll run anti-clockwise. Right, now I've substituted the pink wire for the blue wire, so now the motor will run in high speed. And if you want to reverse it, you just change the red over to yellow and the brown over to blue. It'll run in the opposite direction. The motor has been connected to the high speed side, so we'll start it up. Now it's running in the clockwise direction. The motor is still connected to the high speed side, so now I've reversed the windings and it should run in anti-clockwise. Yes, it's running in anti-clockwise. This motor is a very useful motor if you know how to connect it. It was a difficult one for me to do, but now it's all running sweetly and well, and I've got another useful motor for my workshop.